Good morning. Do I have any drummers? Come on out. I know, we're missing all our kids today. I usually come and drum. Come on. We need drummers. Like that one?
Here you go. He wants this one. Oh, here. Mom can sit by you, and I'll go here.
So, there are also some percussion instruments in the pews. If any of you see those, you grab one of those if you'd like. We have, for those who are new with us today, we have been doing a sandwich for our percussion. So we start out with, I have to think through, yeah, just a second. So, baked bread, 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 baked bread. And then we practice doing this. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, got it? That's our baked bread. And what kind of sandwich do we have? Ham and cheese. Okay, so if we've got baked bread going like this, then we're going to do ham and cheese, 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 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now, the rest of you need to stand up and get some energy, okay? I want to see smiles on those faces, right? So, we're going to start with baked bread. We'll do 4 measures of baked bread, then we're going to do 4 measures of ham and cheese. You get to choose which one you want to do, okay? And as I always remind people, it's easier to sing this to baked bread than it is because your hands don't have to coordinate. So make rhythms with your mouth, all right? And so we'll do 4 measures, and then whenever you're ready, you start that part, okay? So ready? Here we go. Baked bread. 1, 2, ready, and baked bread, baked bread, baked bread, ready, Ready, and common with us, what they are, how they're a little bit different than us. And so the foundation of this is the belief that God is absolutely beyond our understanding. God is way too big for any of us to claim that we have the singular understanding of God and God's mind. And so we talk about languages, we talk about religions as languages that we use to explain how we are understanding our experience of the divine, our experience of God in our lives. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because throughout history there's been way too much violence in the name of God, way too much arrogance in the name of God, way too many wars fought in the name of God. And so we're just trying to do what we can to understand what we can. I didn't write the right thing on here. So your job is, if you choose to go out and do a little research on your own and come prepared, ready to have conversation on a Sunday morning. This week we're talking about Sikhism. Next week, Confucianism. Okay, she puts it up there. Even when I forget, Julie is my guide. We survive without her. So do your own research. Be ready to share next week if you'd like to join in the conversation. So as we light the flame today, I'm going to offer these words from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And I hope I pronounced that right.
I'll be good in a second.
So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath and remember that God and Spirit are the same word in so many languages around the world. There is only one air, earth, and only one light of the God in each being. And we sing together, to you, O God, all creatures sing.
Praises
Good morning.
It's working. Before I start the reading, I want to give you an explanation of a couple of words that are inserted in it. I was reading along for the first time Thursday night, and I came across the phrase har har. And I thought, that's not funny. Nothing in this reading is funny. And so I looked the words up, and it can mean everyone, always, all, or even God. So as I read through this, and I say the words har har, remember, it's not funny. A reading from Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and thankfully it's the English translation. You are everywhere, wherever I go, O true Creator Lord. You are the giver of all, the architect of destiny, the dispeller of distress. The Lord Master is the dispeller of distress. All that happens is by His doing. Millions upon millions of sins He destroys in an instant. And He calls a swan and a crane. He contemplates each and every heart. You are everywhere, wherever I go, O true Creator Lord. Those who meditate on Him single-mindedly obtain peace. How rare are they in this world. The messenger of death does not draw near those who live the Guru's teaching. They never return defeated. Those who appreciate the glorious praises of the Lord, har har, never suffer defeat. The messenger of death does not even approach them. Birth and death are ended for those who are attached to the feet of the Lord. Through the Guru's teachings, they obtain the sublime essence of the Lord and the fruit of the Lord. They enshrine the name of the Lord, har har, in their hearts. Those who meditate on Him single-mindedly obtain peace. How rare are they in this world. He who created the world and assigned all to their task, unto Him I am a sacrifice. So serve Him and gather profit, and you shall obtain honor in the court of the Lord. That humble being who recognizes the one Lord alone obtains honor in the court of the Lord. One who meditates on the Lord through the Guru's teachings obtains the 9 treasures. He chants and repeats continually the glorious praises of the Lord, day and night through the Nam, the name of the Lord, the most sublime, primal being, the one who created the world and assigned all to their task. I am a sacrifice to Him. Those who chant the Nam look beautiful. They obtain the fruit of peace. Those who believe in the name win the game of life. Their blessings are not exhausted if it pleases the Lord. Even though numerous ages may pass. Even though numerous ages may pass, O Lord Master, their blessings are not exhausted. They do not age. They do not die and fall into hell if they meditate on the Nam, the name of the Lord. Those who chant the Lord's name, har har, do not wither, O Nanak, are not afflicted by pain. Those who chant the Nam look beautiful. They obtain the fruit of peace. Those who believe in the Nam win the game of life. We continue with Psalm 139, verses 7 through 18. Where can I go from your spirit? Oh, where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. And if I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. And if I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. For it was you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works that I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. In your book were written all the days that were formed by me, for me, when none of them has yet existed. How weighty to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. I try to count them. They are more than the sand. I come to the end. I am still with you.
So, as a part of General Synod, Jean and I were treated with a keynote by a woman named Valerie Carr. Valerie had long ago done a documentary when she had been a student intern called Divided We Fall, which documented some of the hate crimes that happened, especially against Sikhs, following the 9/11 attack. She pointed out, one of the things that really stood out was that she pointed out the way, in this documentary, which Jean and I have watched, and we'll plan a showing of it, okay? But she pointed out the way that the media over and over and over again kept showing this picture of Osama bin Laden with a turban on his head. Remember that picture that was shown over and over again? And that was shown in this series of pictures of the planes flying into the towers and the towers falling and the explosions and the aftermath. And always in that group of pictures was this picture of Osama bin Laden with a turban on his head. So, in people's minds, they started, those who got angry, those who decided retaliation is the way of life, started to go after people who had darker skin. I've mentioned before that we had a biracial child in International Falls at that time. There was a child in the school, and nasty things were yelled at him. But they especially started going after anybody wearing a turban. Unfortunately, those folk they were going after were peaceful, loving Sikhs, because it is a part of the Sikh faith to wear a turban. So they were getting all mixed in with this radical group of Islam, this tiny little piece of Islam that had done the attack. And instead, people were going after Sikhs, and it was happening around the country. There was one gentleman in Arizona that was actually killed in a hate crime because there's this huge misunderstanding of who we are as individuals, because there's this huge misunderstanding in the world. And so, again, that's one of the reasons we are doing this. So I'm going to just fess up that most of today is straight out plagiarism. The Minnesota Sikh website has a fabulous page about Sikhism and gives so much good information. Look it up if you have time. But I'm going to start with, do we have our map? Okay, we've been working off of this map, and the first box was where we started, over in the Middle East. The second box is the area around India. And those four religions, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, all come from the area around India. So we are looking up in the north. Guru Nanak, let me get his full name, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, was born in that area that is now India and Pakistan, the Punjab. And so at the time, I believe the two predominant religions, this is about the 15th century of the Common Era, and I believe the predominant religions at that time in his area were Hinduism and Islam. So Guru Nanak is the founder of Sikhism, and they had this wonderful explanation. The word guru is composed of gu, meaning darkness, and ru, meaning light. So in Sikhism, therefore, guru is the light that dispels darkness. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji was the embodiment of divine light. The embodiment of divine light. They made it very clear we are not to understand the guru as God, that there is no one that is worshipped but the one God, the one energy, the one all, right? So, Guru's primary message was ekukhanyen, which is there is one creator God and we are all one. There is one creator God and we are all one. So after Guru Nanak, there was a series of gurus that came along, and each of them added to the writings of Sikhism, and this went on. I believe it was the 10th. The final human guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, taught that from that point on, in the lineage, there would be no more human gurus. From that point on, it would be Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji that all Sikhs would follow. And that is the collection of holy writings. And they call the collection of holy writings the Guru Granth. Okay? Is this making sense so far? Any thoughts? Anything to add? Okay, so after the 10th Guru, now we are following the book of writings. All of the past writings, the past hymns, the spiritual words of the past gurus, which have been written down. So, a few things to point out. I'm going to have you go to the next slide. I hope I put it in the right place. So, nope, back one. There we go. Back. These are the principal teachings according to the Minnesota Sikhs. Compassion, service, equality of gender, and equality of all religions, honest and truthful living. One should reject idol worship, rejection of the caste system, every person is equal, rejection of ritualism and superstitions. And then also heaven and hell are states of mind, not necessarily a place we're going to go when we die, but states of mind. So joy is heaven. Despair is hell that we live here on earth, right? And then we can go to the next one. And these are the faith practices set up by the first guru. So every morning you're supposed to rise before sunrise and bathe, because one should be clean before one meditates. and then go into meditation and recitation of some of the hymns. And then throughout the day, you're supposed to be intentional about remembering God's name and meditating on God's name throughout the day. That's called the Nam Japna. Then the Van Shapna, to share with others and to support the entire community. So I don't know if you know this, and sometime we can go back to having field trips with Jill, maybe, and go, but in the Gurdwara, that's the meeting place of the Minnesota Sikhs, they offer a meal, and anyone can come, and it is free, but that's a part of their service to the community, is that they believe that they are supposed to be giving of what they have. And then finally, the Kirtani is to earn an honest living. And again, we talked about this previously. You don't choose a profession that goes against the teachings of your faith. You earn an honest living, and in all dealings, there must be truth and honesty. So, if they're following what they're taught, right? No cheating on your taxes, right? I'm making that up, but that's kind of what I was getting out of it. So I just have one practice that I found that I thought was so interesting, and I think I put the map back up if you want to go to the map again, but, no, forward, whatever. We'll get back where we need to be, right? So there's this practice called ekukhanyen. And if you go on the U.S. Sikh website, in fact, there's a link to it from the Minnesota Sikh website, and it will take you to a daily ekukhanyen. And the way I'm understanding this, and remember, I always qualify by saying I am a child of the Western mind, raised in a Christian household, so I might be getting this wrong, and I'm willing to be corrected. But ekukhanyen is to trust the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the Book of Holy Writings, to guide you throughout your life. And so when you are in a quandary in life, or daily, they recommend, you should come before the scripture with a question, with a problem, with a concern, with a joy, and ask of the book, what should I do about this? And then you take the book, and you just open it randomly, and see what the book has to say to you that day. How many of you have had that happen? Like, maybe it's not the Bible, maybe it's you're driving down the road and the song comes on that is absolutely related to exactly what you were thinking, right? But I have also had it happen where I opened the book and it was just right there. I'm planning the fall series, and I opened the Revised Common Lectionary readings to the first Sunday that we're going to do our Disney series, and it was like, well, that's that movie, right? So there is this unexplainable synchronicity in the universe. And so that's actually how I chose today's reading. You know, I mean, how do you go through thousands of pages of scripture and choose something that's meaningful out of their holy scriptures for a meaning for us? And so I went to the English translation and I just went, well, let's see. And I picked a page. And on that page range was this beautiful reading, which spoke to exactly who we are as well, who we strive to be as Christians, certainly. So it's a beautiful religion. It's a peaceful religion. Again, as so many are, it was founded by saying, you know, I love that you this fighting between, and who's Hindu and who's Muslim and blah, 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 right? And we're always doing this tug of war, and then there was the whole caste system, which you remember when we were talking about Hinduism, how the caste system had been about work, and then all of a sudden it became about inherited status, right? Because it got distorted. And so in the midst of all of this guru says, no, we are all one. We are all equal. And we keep coming back to that, don't we? Every new founder of every new religion keeps saying, wait a minute, we've gotten out of control. We've gotten off course. We are all one. We are equal in God's eyes. And that's what I keep seeing every time I look up a new religion. So, has anyone else done some research this week and have things to offer? Or questions or comments?
Do the women cover their heads?
Not consistently. I know that Valerie did not wear a head covering. There is a practice amongst the most Orthodox, and many, that they do not cut their hair, because God gave us this hair, right? And so they do not cut their hair, and in fact that's what the turban is about, is to cover the hair, because the men also have it. Isn't that what you were understanding? Yes. That the men also have
Very long hair.
very, very, yeah, they don't cut their hair. So imagine how long your hair would be if you didn't ever cut it. So, but no, they don't. No, there is no practice of covering the head. Yeah.
Do you think people that practice Sikhism are mostly born as into a Sikh family? Or, are most of these religions outside of, well, of course you can take on, but it's just a thought I have in my head that people are born into something and so they just kind of tend to accept that particular.
I didn't look into at all what how many people convert to Sikhism. I really didn't look into that number. I mean, I know that there are always people who just find their spirituality somewhere else.
Yes.
But I didn't look into that. Do you have anything to add about the video or anything? I do recommend if you look up Valerie Kaur, Kaur, and that also is something that men are to be named Singh and women are to be named Kaur. And so I don't know how that has translated as they have moved to the United States and kept their names, but I didn't delve into that any farther than to have seen that comment that one of the gurus. So you see a lot of people named Singh and a lot of people named Kaur within the Sikh religion, and that goes back to a guru who said this is who you should be, depending on your gender. So, but I do recommend Valerie Kaur's. She has a TED Talk out that's just wonderful. I will see about whether we can maybe share some of her keynote speech. I don't know if we have permission to do that or not. But you can also look up the documentary Divided We Fall, which is an excellent documentary, very different than her keynote to us. Her keynote to us was so positive and hope-filled, and obviously she was relaying a lot of pain in the documentary. But it's a great explanation of what was going on in their community. So, any other? Yeah.
My one Sikh experience, it opened my mind to the fact of how many folk have migrated to the United States and Canada, and they really hold unity among themselves, and that despite of where it came from and how old it is, they're very much into modern education and getting as much education as they can. Lady Adams was a doctorate in psychology.
So for those who can't hear that from the microphone, she was talking about a person that she knows who, as they have a tight-knit community, the people who have immigrated to here in Canada, and sometimes we look at people who choose not to dress in a Western dress traditionally and think of, well, you know, they're kind of backwards or whatever. But Sue was saying that the people that she encountered were very modern thinking, very intent on getting higher education and bettering themselves. And of course that goes back to that right work. You choose a profession, you contribute to society what you can, given your gifts. Did I say it? Okay. So, I'll just end with these words. Whenever we go to Gurdwara and stand in artis, at the end of the artis, we recite the following words. Guru Granth Sahib is the spiritual embodiment of the Gurus. Those who seek union with God should search through the divine wisdom contained in Guru Granth Sahib. So, meditating on scripture, meditating on the name of God. We could all work on that. I know I could do a little better. Thank you. Let's sing. Now we pray. Do a little prayer. Take a nice deep breath. And I'm wondering if there are any prayers this morning in the basket. Just take a moment in silent prayer. We lift these prayers to you, O God. We raise thoughtful prayers for individuals making vaccination decisions. For all of those who struggle with that decision, we hold you in the light of Christ. Prayers of thanksgiving for the birth of granddaughter Freya Alice Beckman on Tuesday, July 20th. Freya and Mom and Dad and grandparents and all the family, we hold you in the light of Christ. Prayers for our brother-in-law, Kent, who spent 3 days in the hospital due to heat exhaustion. Kent, we hold you in the light of Christ. And prayers of strength and healing and understanding for family of Jordan. For your family, we hold you in the light of Christ. Are there any prayers that didn't get written down but need to be raised in this congregation today?
Prayers for all our church members as this heat continues. Well, prayers for everybody, but prayers for our church members, that we can handle this heat and ongoing stress.
Prayers for our members and for all in the midst of this heat, and that we might handle the stress well, holding on to you, oh God. We hold you in the light of Christ.
Prayers for Jean on her journey to good health.
Jean, we hold you in the light of Christ.
I was a 10th great-grandchild born a little over a week ago.
And do we have a name?
Me. Reuben Allen Kenyon.
Ruin, Allen, Kenning, and family, we hold you in the light of Christ. Gracious God, you have heard our prayers, and you know those that still remain in the silence of our hearts. Hear us now as we sing together the words that Jesus taught us. So, what announcements need to be made? This is our time to offer of ourselves. We do not pass the basket at this time, but there's one in the back if you choose to give to the church. But what are we offering of ourselves? Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, so pretty much what we've been talking about. We have Taiji Fit on Wednesdays. We are still doing that via Zoom. Perhaps in the fall we will start in person again. And then a meditation on the 14th at 9 a.m. On August 4th, you have the opportunity to come here and meet with the Joint Religious Legislation Coalition. I can't ever say that, so that's why we say JRLC. And the JRLC is an interfaith group that works on social justice issues, but especially compassionate issues about homelessness and food shortages and childcare needs, things like that. And so they will be meeting here at the church on August 4th from 6:30 to 8:30, and everyone is welcome to join into that meeting. Education team is meeting on July 29th. If you would like to help put together a program for our children, I think that's the focus of that meeting on the 29th. And so if you have curriculum ideas or craft ideas, or if you want input into what would work best for your family, please join us on the 29th at 1 o'clock p.m. Faith Enrichment meets on August 11th and Council on August 25th. And is there anything else that I forgot?
The school supplies.
School supplies, yes.
We're running a little short.
Yes. We have a week left, 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left, and you'll see right about there, out in the entryway, a collection of school supplies that we are collecting for Common Cup, so that they can distribute those to children who are in need. So if you are able to buy a backpack or some pink erasers or something like that, please do.
And if anyone needs school supplies, they can sign up to get them.
Yes, and if anyone needs supplies, yes.
There's a sign-up sheet in that shopping cart that you know someone who needs supplies, they can pull and fill out, send them.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. She said there's a sign-up sheet in the cart, actually, if you know someone who is in need of school supplies, to sign up on that sheet.
Coffee is available after church if anyone is so inclined.
Okay, we do welcome you to stick around, grab a cup of coffee, have a conversation or two or three, and enjoy one another's company now that we can do that again. So please do. And then I'll just invite you to stand if you are willing and able, and we're going to close this out with Children of God. and share it with everyone you meet so that all will know the love of God. Go, and may the peace of Christ go with you.
May we be at peace. May our hearts remain open. May we awaken to the light of our own true nature. May we be healed and be a source of healing for all beings.
You guys went down there the other day, looking what saying? You're lucky.
You know, I